In approximately 25 days, the world's newest, largest, and arguably most anticipated cruise ship ever built in human history will be launched. I am, of course, talking about Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas. On January 27th over in Miami, anybody who is anybody is going to be there, except for me. I am not going. I am opting out for this inaugural cruise, and in this video, I'm going to explain why. Now, as many of you know, here on this channel, over the past 2 years or so, I have done a lot of inaugural sailings, a lot of mermaiden and maiden voyages, whether it be from the mermaiden voyage with Virgin Voyages, Scarlet Lady, and Resilient Lady, Carnival's Mardi Gras celebration, and even as early as last week, I was on the Jubilee. I've done Wonder of the Seas. I was on the inaugural for the Norwegian Prima as well as the Norwegian Viva last year, and I have a couple more coming up. And I gotta say, I have learned a lot when it comes to inaugural sailings, and I have decided for this specific sailing on Icon of the Seas, I won't be going. Now, to be very clear in this video, I'm not trying to persuade any of you fine folk to not do any inaugural sailings. However, I'm just trying to give you some valuable information that I think will maybe aid and help in your decision making when it comes to deciding if you're going to do any of these first sailings whenever a brand new cruise ship launches. First up, in general, let's talk about these prices, because if you guys ever looked online for a cruise on Icon of the Seas, without, of course, any casino deals or any high-ranking status loyalty perks that you might get, the prices were probably some of the most expensive that you have ever seen for any particular sailing. Now, there are factors included with that when it comes to, of course, your personal experience and the business end of things, like supply and demand. I do have to admit that when it comes to Royal Caribbean, and I don't think there's an argument for it, they have hands down the best marketing team on earth when it comes to the cruise ship industry. It's so good, in fact, that everywhere I went last year, because I went to over 20 countries, and anytime I told people what I did, the first thing they would bring up is the fact that there is a ship that is 5 times bigger than the Titanic, and asking if I had heard of it. When you have regular people that don't cruise, aren't thinking about cruising, talking about cruising, you know you're doing something good. Due to the phenomenal marketing strategy of Royal Caribbean, as you could imagine, the demand started to go up, which meant the prices started going up. Now, I initially put a deposit down back in January of 2023, and as far as the average price, and even when I asked around to other potential passengers, some of them were telling me that they were paying anywhere between $5,000 to about $7,000 and some change to go on this inaugural sailing, given this is talking about a standard balcony stateroom. I would also book this room for myself and my girlfriend Lauren at $7,400 would be the total to cruise on Icon of the Seas. As you could imagine, when all the hype started dying down a little bit in the middle of 2023, things started to kind of fluctuate as far as the price, and you could find some rooms that were in the 2,000 range, some in the 3 and 4, and it kept on going back and forth as you looked around. Seeing these dramatic fluctuations throughout the year, I'll be honest, as I was sailing away all over the world, Europe, and on other inaugural sailings, I was getting a little frustrated. So I made the ultimate decision to just go ahead and let my reservation, or my deposit rather, expire in October, assuming that I could find a better deal. But there wasn't any. So I just decided to sit on it and wait, and I said, okay, I'll probably find a good deal towards the end of the year. The straw that broke the camel's back for me was when I got a $50 off coupon from Royal Caribbean for Icon of the Seas, and seeing the prices at the time, it was over $9,000 to go on this ship. At that point, I said I was done, but there are other contributing factors that I thought about that made me ultimately make the decision to not pay that money, even if I do somewhat do this for business. Well, not somewhat, this is what I do full time, but you guys get my point. One of the most important things, if not the most important thing that you have to understand about an inaugural sailing or a maiden voyage, is that you as a passenger are going to be the test subject. You're a guinea pig, and the cruise line is going to be running experiments on you to see what formula works as far as their operational process. That way they can better serve the potential millions of passengers for years to come. Understandable. However, I would argue that unless you are only there because you want to say you were the first, which I believe that you probably are there for more than one reason, maybe you want to just enjoy the vacation. However, if you're just a normal person, quote unquote, then you are, in my opinion, somewhat on a potential losing end. What I mean by normal person is that if you are not an influencer, which they are in their own category, I'll talk about them a little bit later, crazy people. If you are not working directly with the cruise line, like a travel agent or own a travel agency, if you're not with the casino loyalty program, if you're not with the cruise line's loyalty program, the experience for you is going to be very different than what everybody else is experiencing, especially if you've only done normal cruises that have already launched and somewhat broken in. If you are a normal person, by the way, I mean no disrespect by that. Hopefully, you all understand what I mean. But on an inaugural sailing, it is essentially a fight, a dog eat dog world to try to get whatever it is that you want, whether it be a dining option or a certain experience. Because there are other people that are at somewhat of the top of the food chain, that of which being, of course, the marketing team in the suits, all of the corporate leaders that work within, in this case, Royal Caribbean. Next to that, you have, and they can interchange, of course, to the casino program people, which they make a lot of money for the cruise lines, up to $1 million and some change for every single cruise. So they're going to get very well taken care of. I would argue you get better service than even the loyalty programs with the cruise line. Next, you have the influencers or the content creators. Well, let's just say influencers because I count them as two different people. I'm a content creator. The influencer job is to essentially get paid to go on the cruise ship to fluff everything up for people that are not within this industry and convince them that this is the greatest thing ever. For that reason, the cruise lines are going to go out of their way to make sure these people are able to get access to all of the best dining options, all of the best attractions, all the best seating for all the shows, and then you as a normal person are going to have to fit somewhere in between that. Even somebody like me as a content creator who doesn't really work directly with the cruise lines, I also have to kind of fit in where I get in as well, and it's not that fun. A couple more things I want to note as I wrap up here, because I will probably make a better version of this, talking about the goods and bads, pros and cons of inaugural sailings versus a ship that has already broken in. Do understand that when it comes to Icon of the Seas, this ship is sold out. So there will be 10,000 people on board, a lot of influencers that are going to be recording. Everybody's going to be trying to compete with each other. As far as the content creators, everybody's going to be trying to be the one that has the ultimate cruise ship tour. I will tell you guys right now, shout out to Danny from Hard Travel. He's probably already on that ship. He's probably already done it. So I would suggest don't even try it. All right. They're solid over there. They do a good job. But also when it comes to you trying to enjoy any of the festivities on board, there are going to be people on there that, by the way, did not pay. I am a little jealous because of that, right? There are going to be people there that got them for free that are going to be ahead of you in the order as far as going into the restaurant. Most of them will be sold out, if not all of them, because there are a lot of new dining options, new experiences. There's going to be a lot of people that want to try all that stuff out. And I'm telling you right now, the people that are at, like I said, the top of the food chain, they are going to get first dibs. And you, even if you've paid, let's say anywhere between $6,000 to $10,000, maybe even more than that, and considering that's just the cruise fare, not including what you're going to be paying on board. Well, for me personally, I'm kind of out from it. I am going to be on the Utopia of the Seas. I'm doing a back-to-back. I'm doing the inaugural, and then I'm doing the one after that. And I have a couple more, maybe one or two more inaugurals that I'm doing. But for me, I just think for this one, after what I've seen and all the overhype that is going on, well, I wouldn't say overhype. It's deserved, right? It's going to be an amazing ship, an amazing experience. But for me, as somebody that has taken tons and tons of inaugurals, I'm done with this one. I do wish all of you that are going to be sailing on board the best time. Hang out, get to know people, mingle, network, do whatever it is that you got to do. Enjoy yourself and make some memories that'll last a lifetime. But let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. As usual, I appreciate every single one of you. I love all of you. Hit that like button if you're out. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see all of you later. Take it easy.